Sparkle's first live stream.
Oh, why did I agree to do this? Sparkles the elf wondered aloud as she sat down in front of her laptop, her nerves making the bell on the top of her hat jingle. Because you're our head of communications, Twinkles reminded her with a gentle nod as he adjusted the lighting, and it was your idea to do a live stream in the first place. Sparkles sighed. It was? Okay, but what if we go offline? This is the North Pole. We don't have the strongest signal up here. Or what if I run out of things to say?
Twinkles stood up and looked at her reassuringly.
Sparkles, you have been talking our pointed ears off all day long for over 200 years. You have never run out of things to say, and I'm pretty sure you never will. But it's live. It's one thing to be answering letters to Santa or posting the occasional video, but anything can happen when you're live.
Coco brought a cup of hot chocolate with extra whipped cream and chocolate shavings to ease Sparkle's nerves.
Here you go, she said, placing the mug on the desk beside the laptop. This will make you feel better. You're gonna be great. She patted Sparkles on the shoulder.
Sparkles was grateful for the beverage and the affirmation.
Oh, thanks, Coco. Extra whipped cream, just like I like it.
She took a sip.
Yummy!
Twinkles stepped away from the laptop and took a seat on the other end of the table with his own computer so he could monitor the stream.
Okay, Sparkles, we're on in 30 seconds. Everything's working and I'll be right with you the whole time. And remember, people will be just so excited to see you no matter what happens. Are you ready to go? As ready as I'll ever be, I guess, Sparkles said with hesitation. Great. I'll count you down. Click on the Go Live button, and then it's all you. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2...
As Twinkles pointed to her to begin, Sparkles froze and said nothing. She wished she hadn't noticed the number of viewers tuned in at the bottom of the screen. How many millions? Of course, it was the very first live stream from the North Pole at Santa's workshop, so it would obviously be a big deal. But it just made her more nervous. She could hear Twinkles whispering,
Sparkles, start talking,
and came back to the present.
Hello, everyone,
she started, putting on a smile and trying to make sure she was looking at the camera.
I'm Sparkles, the head of communications up here at Santa's workshop, and welcome to our very first live stream.
She could hear other elves clapping and cheering behind her, and suddenly she didn't feel quite so alone. It gave her a bit more courage.
Now, before you ask, the big guy will not be joining us today. He's in a meeting with Jack Frost, the Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy right now. But he does send his regards, and perhaps he'll join us on the next live stream. If there is a next live stream. But today, I thought we would chat a bit about the goings-on up here at the workshop, and I'll answer some of your burning questions.
Sparkles was amazed at how quickly the comments were going by in the chat window, and was glad Twinkles was there to sift through them and catch anything important.
Now, as you may know, here in the workshop is where all the toys and other presents are made.
She rolled her chair to the side to reveal long tables filled with balls, dolls, electronics, and games, with countless elves diligently inflating, painting, and piecing things together.
We're what you might call a well-oiled machine, and we have very strict quality standards. Every elf is put on a specific task for months at a time, depending on his or her individual strengths, and we work very hard all year long to make sure everything is ready for the big day. Then we take off the day after Christmas to celebrate and relax, and then we're right back at it.
Jangles, who was gently fixing the ruffles on a doll's dress skirt as she listened in, left her station and approached the camera.
But don't worry, she started to explain to the viewers. We like it that way. We Christmas elves are designed to make Christmas happen, and if we weren't doing it, we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves. It's true, Sparkles agreed. Even on our day off, I usually end up searching online for more holiday inspiration. Thanks for that, Jangles. No problem.
Jangles nodded and waved to the camera and went back to her station. Just then, an odd look appeared on Sparkle's face. She felt that all too familiar twitch.
"Just 1 minute, please,"
she said, reaching into her front pocket and pulling out a candy cane.
"You see,"
she continued as she removed the wrapping,
"we elves need to eat a candy cane every hour on the hour, or we get, as you might say, hangry."
She took a lick and sighed.
That's better. You know, a lot of people wonder why Santa's workshop is up here at the North Pole and how we manage to stay warm since it's supposed to be really cold. Well, I can't tell you the exact reason we're here. Let's just say there's a certain resource that isn't found anywhere else, but I can tell you there is a thing we call the Santa Glow. Anybody who is up here at the village or in the presence of Santa just can't get cold.
Out of the corner of her eye, Sparkles saw Twinkle signaling that it was time to answer some questions from the audience. She nodded in acknowledgement.
"And now let's get to some of your questions. My friend Twinkles, who has been monitoring the chat, has passed some questions over to me and says they're coming in like hotcakes."
She licked her lips. Syrup.
Yum!
She looked at the messages Twinkle had forwarded on the screen and started to read.
Here's one from Ricky, and he asks, "Have you had any other human babies crawl into Santa's bag who were then allowed to become honorary elves?"
Sparkles tried not to roll her eyes.
Well, Ricky, we get asked this question a lot when kids write to us. There are, in fact, no human elves up here at the North Pole, and in case you didn't know, the movie Elf is not actually a true story. We all love it. We watch it every year. But Buddy the Elf does not exist, and I don't think any of us have even met Will Ferrell, so we can't arrange for you to meet him either. So you can all stop sending that question in your letters as well, please, and thank you.
Sparkles kept reading.
Jane here says, "I received a bunch of white chocolate from Santa this year, and I'm lactose intolerant. Oh, dear. Well, we're very sorry about that, Jane. Perhaps your gift got mixed up with someone who happened to have the same name. But thank you for letting us know. I will forward your concern to the Inappropriate Gifts Department, and it will be rectified as soon as possible. In the meantime, I would not recommend eating the chocolate just because Santa gave it to you. No need to invite tummy trouble if you can avoid it. Perhaps there's someone else in your family who can digest dairy who you could give it to? And for anyone else out there who may have received something unexpected for Christmas, you can send us an email at notmygift@santaclaus.com. That's notmygift, all one word, @santaclaus.com. There is the address on your screen. Thank you, Twinkles. Mistakes do happen from time to time. Santa may be perfect, but we elves are not, and we appreciate your understanding."
Suddenly, Tinsel the cat came leaping up onto the table, knocking over Sparkle's mug and spilling hot chocolate all over the table and laptop keyboard.
"Tinsel, no!"
Twinkle screamed. Sparkles jumped but tried to regain her composure.
Could somebody hand me some towels, please?" she asked with a worried smile, "before the hot chocolate gets into the circuit board and shuts everything down."
Now make no mistake, Sparkles loved cats, and Tinsel in particular, but she did not need the drama at that moment. Gingy came into the camera's view and picked up Tinsel in her arms.
"I'm so sorry," she apologized. "I tried to keep hold of her, but she got so squirmy."
Sparkles nodded.
"Oh, it's all right. It's just a little hot chocolate," and addressed the audience. "Well, folks, that was Tinsel. She's one of our resident cats here at the workshop, and it looks like she's going to have babies soon."
Another elf quickly handed her some towels, which she used to pat down the keyboard, hoping the mess was out of view of the camera as she continued.
"She's a lively one, as you can tell, and we're all very excited to have more kittens running around the workshop."
"Did you sing that the hot chocolate was sufficiently cleaned up?" Sparkles cleared her throat and regained her composure.
Now back to the questions. Here's a good one. Bradley wants to know, is there a cutoff date to get on the naughty list? Can I do bad things after, say, December 10th and still stay on the nice list? Sparkles leaned into the camera with as serious a gaze as a Christmas elf could muster. I'm very glad you submitted this question, Bradley, and I'm sorry to tell you, but we are always watching. I've been on the list monitoring team myself, and we can switch you from one list to the other at the very last minute, even on Christmas Eve. Santa always has some extra lumps of coal in his bag just in case. So, I would advise being as good as possible all year long. Then she took a sip of what remained of her hot chocolate and giggled. But good on you for trying to find a loophole. Now, let's see if we can answer another question. Letitia asks, with all the drones flying around, why don't any of them ever catch Santa in action? And has he ever had a run-in with any of them? Hi, Letitia. I remember seeing your name around here, and I think you'll be very excited about what Santa is bringing you this year. Now, to answer your question, it's true. In this day and age of technology, there are a lot of drones out and about. They aren't like flocks of geese or anything, but they are there. They don't catch Santa because he and his sleigh can only be seen by those he chooses to be visible to, if that makes any sense. So if he doesn't want you to see him, you won't. And his reindeer are so stealthy and mobile that they're able to avoid run-ins with almost anything. There was that hot air balloon incident in 1955, but luckily everyone was okay, and such incidents are very rare. Now, Satina wants to know, what is your favorite department in the workshop? Sparkles had been around for so long and done so many things up at the North Pole and in the workshop, she had to go back through over 200 years of memories. Let me think about that, Satina. I've worked here in the toy shop dressing the dolls. I've been in the records department monitoring the naughty and nice lists, like I said earlier. I've been part of the reindeer care team, and while they've all had their joys, I think being with the communications team and getting to connect with all of you has been my favorite so far. It makes what we do here at the North Pole seem real and meaningful. Thanks for asking. Out of the corner of her eye, Sparkles could see Twinkles mouthing the words, "Last question," and spinning his index finger in a circle, telling her to wrap things up. She thought he looked very official and professional doing it, and it made her smile. Okay, it's time for our last question, and it's from Twinkles. She pointed to the elf on the other side of the table. You, Twinkles? She asked. Twinkles lowered his eyes and gave a shy smile. Sparkles wasn't sure what was happening, but she went along with it. Okay, she continued. The message says, Sparkles, I like you a lot. You are funny, sweet, cute, and smart. And I want to ask you if you would go on an official date with me. Sparkles could hardly get out the last couple of words. Her face went red like a cherry, elves being very prone to blushing. She didn't say anything at first. She was so embarrassed. There were so many people watching. But she looked up at Twinkle's hopeful face, and there was only one response. Well, I like you too, Twinkles. Sure, I'll go on a date with you. I'd like that very much. The other elves erupted into cheers. They knew it was coming. Sparkles and Twinkles had been such good friends for centuries. And really, it was only a matter of time. Sparkles tried to pull herself back together as the congratulatory messages poured in on the live stream's chat. Well, everyone, she started with a giggle. I guess that concludes the very first live stream from up here at the North Pole. Thank you so much for joining us today. Don't forget to keep posted for news about our next broadcast. Until then, be good. Never stop believing in magic. And from all of us here at Santa's Workshop, Merry Christmas!